In the previous video, I went over how to set up a standard folder structure and load data into ArcMap. In this video, I will show you how to check the spatial reference system for the remaining layers, and if necessary, use a project tool to create copies of the data in the desired spatial reference system. Now is a good time to set the map document properties and save your map document. Go to File and select Map Document Properties. Check the box next to Store Relative Path Names. This setting will allow you to move your top-level folder to a different location or a different computer without breaking your data. As a rule of thumb, always be sure this is turned on and you will save yourself a lot of headaches. Now go ahead and save your map document. I'm going to save it to my top-level folder, Music Festival 2. Some people like to save it to the working folder, but I like to park it right outside. As long as it is somewhere in the top-level folder for the project you are working on and you can find it later, you should be fine. Untitled is a terrible name. Using it as a file name is a really bad habit to get into. Always give your file meaningful names. I'll call this one Music Festival 2. On the Humboldt State Geospatial online website, I'm currently on step 9. However, for future reference, be aware that these numbers sometimes change. In the next few steps, I will add the remaining shapefiles one at a time. As I do, I will check to see if they are in the spatial reference that I want to use for my analysis, NAD 83, UTM Zone 10 North. If they are not, then I will use the project tool to create a copy of the data in the desired spatial reference. Start by adding the parcels layer. The file name starts with APN. The Geographic Coordinate System warning appears. Take a moment to read through it. It's telling us that the layer I am adding is in a different coordinate system as the data frame. If you will recall from previous lessons, the data frame adopts the spatial reference of the first layer you add to the table of contents. In this instance, I know that the data frame is currently in NAD-UTM Zone 10 North because the first layer I added was the rivers layer. This warning also provides some additional useful information. It also tells us which geographic coordinate system the layer I'm adding currently uses. In this instance, the parcels layer is in GCS North American 1927. All of this information tells me that I'm going to need to use the project tool to create a copy of the data with the spatial reference NAD 83 UTM Zone 10 North. Go ahead and close the warning. Open the Arc toolbox. You can do this by clicking on the icon with the red toolbox. The first time you open the Arc toolbox, it will appear floating above the map. I like to dock the toolbox on the right. To do so, start dragging the toolbox. When you see the blue arrows appear, drag your cursor over the blue arrow and it will snap to the side. Click the plus to expand the data management tools. Then open the Projections and Transformations. Double-click on the Project tool. For the input, I'll use the parcel layer I just added. For the output dataset, make sure you always use the yellow folder icon to browse to your working folder. If you look carefully at the file path, you'll notice that ArcMap will try to save it to the default geodatabase. As a student working on a computer on the HSU campus, this location is a black hole. You will give yourself major headaches and grief if you rush this step and save to the default geodatabase. Never accept the default output location. Click the yellow file folder icon. If you're working from home, you might get a Windows security warning. It's annoying but harmless. Click Yes to make it go away. If you got this warning, you will have to click the yellow file folder icon a second time. Navigate to your working folder and name the file Parcels. For the output coordinate system, click the icon on the right that has a hand pointing to a page. Open the Projected Coordinate System folder. Scroll down and open UTM, open NAD 1983, select Zone 10 North and click OK. For now, leave all of the other settings as default and click OK. The new layer may or may not appear automatically in your table of contents. If it does not, open the catalog window and add the file to the map from the working folder. Remove the original parcel layer, the one that starts with the letters APN, from the table of contents. Removing unnecessary layers from the table of contents helps to keep things less confusing as you work. Repeat these steps for each of the remaining shapefiles. Check the spatial reference in the Source tab. When you encounter a file that is not in the desired spatial reference system, use the project tool to create a copy of the file with the spatial reference NAD 83 UTM Zone 10 North. In the next video, I will show you how to add XY data.